before we activate prior knowledge, we're going to talk about the learning objective. So, who can read for me? So,
I'm successful when I can explain how the amount of rainfall affects the living things in Pacific Northwest forests.
perfect. So, in your own words, how would you explain how do you know you're successful? When what? In your own words. You could pick on somebody else if you need some help.
History.
All right, history. In your own words, I want you to tell me what Zoe just read.
I can identify how the rainfall affects living in the Northwest forest.
Perfect. So the rain affects how plants, animals, anything that's living lives in the Pacific Northwest, right? Okay, who could read the second one? Christopher.
I can identify some of the common plants and animals found in this forest.
Perfect. So, in your own words, how do you know you're successful? When you're doing what?
Maybe if you like to see a picture of it, you can identify the animals and plants.
Beautiful. Perfect. So we're going to be learning about different plants, animals in these forests that live here, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to activate prior knowledge. So yesterday we learned about this map, right? So who can tell me which biome has the most rainfall? Allie. Perfect. So how many inches of rain about does it get? Beautiful. Is that more than all the other biomes? By a lot, right? So we learned a little bit about each of the biomes yesterday, and now we're gonna just focus mainly on the Pacific Northwest forest, okay? So this is what we're gonna learn about today. Is it a big part of the United States or a little part of the United States? Leela.
It's a little part of the United States.
It's a little part, but isn't it crazy that it has the most amount of rain and it is the littlest part? So today we're gonna learn about how living organisms and things are affected in the Pacific Northwest forest by the rain, by the amount of rain, okay? So now we're gonna watch a little video about the Pacific Northwest forest.
Welcome to one of the most fascinating, beautiful, and unique regions of the United States, the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest is unlike other regions because it's actually a small part of the larger western region, also known as Cascadia.
Okay, who can tell me some areas some states that are in the Pacific Northwest part?
California.
Okay, anybody else? Leo?
Oregon.
Anywhere else? Melina?
Washington.
Very good. Anywhere else? No? Okay, let's see.
The Pacific Northwest area stretches from Northern California, heading north through Oregon, Washington, and into parts of southern British Columbia in Canada. Some even consider parts of Idaho, Montana,
Right.
Wyoming, Alaska, and Yukon in Canada part of the Pacific Northwest.
Very
The
good.
climate of an area is the most common temperature and weather, measured over a long period of time.
Okay, so in 4th grade, we need to know about climate and weather. The difference. Who can tell me the difference between climate and weather? Antonio. So yes, and it could change, right? So in 4th grade, those are two science words that we need to know to be successful. All right.
Most of the Pacific Northwest has a cool, wet climate, which has led to the growth of thick forests.
So that makes sense, right? That it has a cool, wet climate, right? Because of why? Who can tell me? Sarah. Yeah. Definitely. Because there's a lot of rain, it's a cool, wet climate.
Some of the biggest trees in the world can be found here. Believe it or not, there are coastal or temperate rainforests in the Pacific Northwest, while the inland areas are more dry and warm. The rainforests in this area are some of the rainiest places in the world. In contrast, there are parts of Washington that are so dry, they're considered to be a desert. Can you believe that? The rivers in this area are massive and help support this wet climate's agriculture, or growing crops and raising livestock. The Columbia River is one of the largest rivers in this area. And don't forget the ocean. Most states in this region share a border with the Pacific Ocean. The Cascade Mountain Range runs through the middle of the Pacific Northwest, stretching from the northern part of California to the southern part of Alaska.
Okay, so why does the Pacific Northwest have a lot of rivers? Why? Carter?
Because then the common way, so it fills up all the like the paths that get destroyed.
I know we just spoke about it, but do we remember in the video what the largest river is? You want me to go, Carter? No? Anyone? Zoe?
Hudson River.
Not the Hudson River. It is a big river, but it's not in the Pacific Northwest. Abdul?
Canada.
Canada? No, let's look back.
You're so funny.
That was a good try, though. One try. So let's go back and look.
He's being silly.
The Cascade Mountain Range runs through the the Columbia River is one of the largest
So the
rivers in this
Columbia
area.
River,
And don't
right?
forget
And we also have the ocean as well. Okay?
the ocean. Most states in this region share a border with the Pacific Ocean. The Cascade Mountain Range runs through the middle of the
It's one
Pacific
state.
Northwest, stretching from the northern part of California to the southern part of Alaska. Mount Rainier is the highest peak in the Pacific Northwest at over 14,400 feet. Others include the Olympic Range, the Coast Range, sometimes part of the Rocky Mountains, and more. Did you know that there are active volcanoes in the Pacific Northwest? Mount St. Helens actually erupted not too long ago, in 1980. Yikes! There are many other volcanoes throughout the region, but most of them are dormant, meaning they haven't erupted in a very long time. Let's look at some fun facts about the Pacific Northwest. Before Europeans reached North America, the Pacific Northwest was inhabited by many different groups of Native Americans. During the 1800s, the Oregon Trail was the longest trail used in the westward expansion of the United States. Whale watching is a fun activity for tourists all up the Pacific coast. Washington is the only state to be named after a president. This state is famous for its apples, producing more than any other state. Famous things to come out of Washington: Microsoft founder Bill Gates, Starbucks, and Amazon.com. Oregon's tallest peak is Mount Hood, a dormant volcano that gets so much snow you can ski even in the summer. The deepest lake in the US can be found in Oregon at Crater Lake. Speaking of deep, Hell's Canyon in Oregon is the deepest river gorge in North America at roughly 8,000 feet. Some of the largest and oldest trees in the world are the redwoods along the coast of California and Oregon.
Okay. So we learned a little bit about the Pacific Northwest Forest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out a notebook, our science notebook. I'm going to be handing out textbooks, and we're going to read a little bit, and also our 4 biomes that we started writing our science sheet. Okay. So we're gonna hand out textbooks. Who are my textbook pass routers?
Carter.
13 and 14. Is 14 up here? I need one more.
Abdul. No, it's Abdul's job. That's your job.
Come here, Abdul.
Why is
Once you get the textbooks, you're gonna open up to the Pacific Northwest Forest. Who can tell me what page that is?
46?
Raising their hand. Elena, do you know what page it is?
46?
Try to find it. Okay?
Wait, what is that again? What are we trying to find? What are we trying to find?
What is the lesson on?
Volcano?
Who can tell Leo what the lesson is on? Perfect. What page is it? I love how you looked in your table of contents. So,
102.
contents.
It's 102.
So everybody, please turn to 100 and 102, 104.
102. So I got it.
Alright, 202. Thank you, yeah. What? Okay, so now we're gonna popcorn read. We're gonna learn a little bit about the Pacific Northwest Forest, and then we're gonna break into groups, and we're gonna learn about the different plants, weather, and the animals that are living there. 102. Okay. Who wants to read about the Pacific Northwest Forest? Nice and clear and loud. Christopher?
If you visit the Pacific Northwest, you'll see many tall trees. In fact, this region is home to the world's largest trees, tallest trees. The rainy weather and mild temperatures support the growth of the lush forest. Most of the trees are evergreen, which means that they keep their needle-shaped leaves all year long. Many flowering shrubs and trees, such as ferns and dogwoods, also live in these forests. Wildflowers, mosses, and ferns grow in the moist soil. This forest is home to many different kinds of animals, from insects and amphibians to birds and mammals.
So tell me, Christopher, we learned a lot. What did we just learn about? What kind of living things are in the Pacific Northwest Forest? Can you name one or two? So a living thing is not only an animal, it's anything that is
Wildflowers, mosses,
beautiful.
ferns, and dogwoods.
Mhm. What's like something super interesting that we learned in this paragraph that we didn't know before? Yana. Insects, yes, but
Amphibians and mammals.
and mammals. But we're forgetting one living thing that we didn't mention yet.
Ferns.
Amphibians.
Amphibian.
I'm looking at the first paragraph. So it's home to the world's what?
Oh, it's called what?
Are trees living?
Yes.
Yes, they are, right? So it's why do they have so many trees?
Because it's a forest.
And because why?
It rains a lot.
Leo M?
Because it rains a lot.
Yes. So they're known to have lots and lots of trees. Okay? Now we're gonna look at a couple of the animals that are in the Pacific Northwest Forest, and then you guys are gonna research in your groups. You each are gonna research different things, okay? So who wants to read about the side band snail? Who have a name? Isla, nice and loud. Decaying. Do we know what decaying means? Who can tell me? Carter?
Like, kind of like dying.
Dying.
little bit.
Yep. So what does it do? It eats the what?
The leaves.
Which leaves?
The dead ones.
The dying leaves. Perfect. Okay, who wants to read about the western tanager? Bella.
The colorful western
Tanager.
monitor eats insects, fruits, and seeds. This male
Tanager.
is sitting in a spruce tree in Oregon forest.
Beautiful. Who wants to read up here for me? Dara.
Many wildflowers, such as these iris, grow in the dense wood.
Beautiful. Who would like to read about the trees? Emma.
Many water-growing seasons with this plentiful rain have allowed this
Douglas.
Douglas country to grow very tall.
Beautiful, beautiful reading. So now we've learned a little bit about some of the living organisms and things that live in the Pacific Northwest Forest, but now you're gonna do the research I'm gonna show you guys what your groups are,
Yeah.
and we are going to. Okay, so group 1 is gonna be researching weather. 1 second. Okay. Group 1 is gonna be researching weather. Allie's gonna be the leader. So it's gonna be Allie, Carter, Dylan, Sabine, Ishbia, Matthew, Leo M, and Isla. Then group 2 is gonna be researching plants. That's gonna be Milena, Bella, Zoe, Antonio, Christopher, Emma, Rocco, Viana, and Dara. And then group 3 is gonna be animals. I'm gonna be working with group 3 in the back. It's gonna be Antonia, Nadia, Abdul, and Leo D. So group 1 can go get their laptops. And if you're done early, then you could do the wrap it up questions in your science notebook. Okay? So only group 1 is going to get their laptops, and you're going to be writing your research inside your notebooks, in your science notebook. Okay, so we're gonna have group 1 on the floor over here, on the carpet. Group 2 is gonna be in the hallway. And then group 3 is gonna be working in the back table with me. Okay? Yeah. We're gonna do that afterwards once we find out some animals, more animals and plants, okay? We're gonna fill that in. No. You just need your laptop. So the materials that you need are your laptops, a pencil, and your science notebook. And we need to be on our best behavior outside.
Outside?
Okay. Only Milena, Bella, Zoe, and Antonio are gonna go outside. And then we're gonna have Christopher, Emma, Rocco, Viana, and Dara on the back on the floor.
Wait, who else?
Okay?
Wait, who's gonna go outside?
You don't need your textbook. So you only need a laptop, a pencil,
Wait, you're not.
and your notebook.
Who's going outside?
So the only people that are gonna go outside are Melina, Bella, Zoe, and Antonio. Okay? And the rest are gonna be working back there. Okay, Nadia's back here. Abdul's over here. Where's Abdul? Yes, so you're gonna have the iPad.
So when you're
Nadia.
searching,
Okay.
Why does it go on
use the phrase for
And
kids. So like animals
no, Abdul, you're over here, buddy.
always do for
Thank you.
kids at the end of the search. So you're able to read it.
This is gonna help you. So you're gonna go to your bits board, and we put some vocabulary words, key vocabulary words there, so you can. So go. You know how to get your bits board? Yeah. Come here, Leo. Okay. So we're gonna do something a little different. You have the option of using your laptop, or I printed out paper copies. You want paper copies so you can highlight? Okay. I have fun highlighters. This should be semi-quiet, okay? Not too loud in here.
My pens.
Sabine, do you know where you're going?
I want to get in the video.
Oh, if you want. Leo, would you prefer a paper copy so we could highlight?
Yeah.
Okay, so our group is the animals. So we're going to be learning about all these cool animals that live in the Northwest Forest. Okay?
Could I back home?
Yeah, of course you can. I have really cool highlighters.
Wait, I want to see all of them.
Okay, these are my cool highlighters. This is what I got.
That's it?
Yep. Okay?
Okay, I'll take this. Although you have.
Perfect. Okay, so you don't need this. I'll just put it on the side for you. So you don't.
You have yellow.
And you need your science notebook. This one? Okay, so we're gonna take turns reading and highlighting. Okay, we're gonna learn about all the different animals that live in the Pacific Northwest. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put this away. I'm gonna give you a paper copy. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay.
Wait, do we need our laptop?
You have the option of going on Canvas and pulling this up, or we could highlight together.
Pull it.
Want to pull it up? All right. Have it next to you anyway, so you're gonna highlight as well, okay?
Because like you can't.
You can't really highlight on there, okay? So use the paper, okay? All right, ready? So who wants to
We
start?
don't
with
need
you?
our laptop.
No, you don't need it. Okay.
Everybody
Abdul,
alive?
did you pull up what you needed? So you're gonna go to
what is it do?
You're gonna go back to your board and you're gonna go where the Pacific, where's the Pacific Northwest Forest?
Right there. Can I read the first paragraph?
Of course you can. Right here, buddy. Okay. All right, Nadia, let's hear it nice and loud. And you guys are gonna highlight what you think is important in the article, okay? And then we're gonna talk about it. Okay? Abdul, you're gonna highlight, okay?
So he's listening to that article.
No, he has vocabulary that will help him. So these are all the. These are some of the animals that we're going to be learning today. Okay. So as we read, you can click on the animal and you can look at the animal that we're going to be talking about. Okay. So, is everyone ready? Okay, Nadia.
The Pacific Northwest is the United States. The Pacific Northwest in the United States is a breathtaking
Region.
region. Some incredible animal species that can be observed in the wild include the North American river otter, bald eagles, sidebound snails, black bears, and western tan.
Okay, so those are the animals that we're going to be learning today about. Okay, there's going to be little paragraphs on each animal. Okay, and then we're going to write in our science notebook what we found. Okay, so I'm going to read this paragraph, and then I need somebody to read the North American river otter. Okay.
Okay.
From iconic lakes to famous rivers and beautiful tall trees, it is a beautiful sight to see. And here at Flat Water Club, we love admiring and protecting wildlife. It's always a treasured experience when you observe a wild creature in its natural environment. Okay, who would like to read the first animal, Leah?
Adorable river otters are a delight to observe in the wild. You can see these playful creatures by exploring one of the Pacific Northwest habitat river. The North American river otter is a playful animal that lives in rivers, lakes, and streams in the Pacific Northwest forest. It has a long, sleek body, thick fur, and webbed feet, making it a great swimmer. Otters eat fish, frogs, and small animals. They love to slide on mud or snow for fun. River otters build dams near water
Hi, very good reading.
and are very curious. They help keep the environment healthy by eating sick or dying fish. Although they were once hunted, their numbers are now stable thanks to conservation efforts.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up our science notebook, and we're gonna make a chart. We're gonna make a chart, right? We're gonna make a T-chart. So, Abdul, we're gonna write on the top.
You don't have a pen?
Oh, pencil. Did everybody else bring a pencil?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna make a T-chart. So I'm gonna do mine up here so you guys can see. So we're gonna write a T-chart. So Abdul, you're gonna write this, okay?
Wait, okay.
Okay, we're gonna write animals. And what do you think we should write on the other side? Nadia?
I'm gonna write
On the top right, so
the habit.
okay. So we're talking about the animals. But what
Otter.
So underneath animals, we're gonna write otter. But what are you gonna write on this side? Abdul, what are we learning about? We are very good. But what are we learning about the animals?
Like where they're from.
So we know where they're from. They're all from the same place. Can you tell me where they're from?
The Northwest in the United States.
The Northwest Pacific.
Ocean.
Forests, right? So on this side, what we're gonna write why they're important to the Pacific Northwest Forest.
Already?
Right? Because we're not just talking, all these animals that we're talking about do something very specific for the Northwest Forest. They help the forest, right? So, what is the first animal that we spoke about? Do you remember?
The animal was they were
You can look back in your article, that's what we have the articles printed. Can anyone help Nadia?
North American river otter.
Alright, so we're gonna write the North American river otter. Okay, you could just write otter if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so who could tell me something that we learned? What did we highlight in the article to show us why that the otter is important? Yeah? Down here, right? What do we find?
That they're great swimmers.
Yeah, great swimmers is good, but does that make it important for the?
No.
What else? What is one thing we found?
It's a playful animal.
Does that show how it's important to the Pacific Northwest Forest?
Oh, because it. Oh, I know. Because it like eats stuff
It eats what? Amazing, good job. That's what we're gonna write, right? So if you look on the other side, this is why we have our highlighters, okay?
Well, I guess no. Well, it doesn't like waste a fish that's already dead.
Yeah. So can you show me where you found that in the article? Because that was amazing, Leon. Show me. Is it on there, or is it? It might be on the next page.
No, it's here.
So Leo said it helps by eating. It helps keep the environment healthy by eating the dead fish.
Oh, I
The
know.
sick or dying fish.
Dead. It has
All right. So we're gonna learn.
It says otters eat fish, frogs, and small animals.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nope. That's how much we're at, 27.
Okay. So now we're gonna be learning about. So make sure you're highlighting, okay? Here, I'll show you where it is, okay?
Environment.
Leo, that was really good. I'm very proud of you. Look, right here, buddy. So the sick or dying fish. So highlight. That's the most important thing of the whole paragraph, okay?
And with I-N.
Mhm. M-E-N-T.
Oh,
Sick or dying fish, okay?
secretary.
Okay. Now we're gonna read about the bald eagles.
I want to read. I got to read.
We're gonna let someone else read, and then you can read again, okay?
No, let Nadia.
Did you write sick or dying fish? It helps the environment. Great job, guys.
Okay, now can I read?
We're gonna talk about the bald eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the bald eagle.
We're gonna read about two more of them, and then
The bald eagles are native.
you wanna read Nadia? And then
Bald eagles are native wild species to the Pacific Northwest forest. The bald eagle is a large bird of prey that lives in the Pacific Northwest forest. It has a white head, yellow beak, and brown body. These eagles like to live near rivers, lakes, or coasts where they can catch fish. Their favorite food. Bald eagles build huge nests in tall trees and can live up to 30 years in the wild. They are a symbol of strength and freedom in the United States. Bald eagles were once endangered, but now their numbers are growing thanks to efforts to protect them.
Okay, great reading. So, Abdul, what did we just learn about? What did we just learn about? The bald eagle, right?
I got the wrong one
All right.
because my pictures are not clear.
I know, some are colored and some aren't. So we're gonna write bald eagle here. And then who can tell me why they're important to the Pacific Northwest Forest?
They're important to the Pacific Northwest Forest because they are symbols.
Try again, try again. So what do they do?
Because they were once endangered.
What about who could help her?
Oh, wait. The bald eagle help like numbers.
So it's very similar to the North American river otter. So what do they do? What do? How do they eat?
They catch fish.
They catch fish, right? So wouldn't that help
With
the
their beaks.
ecosystem?
With their beaks.
With their beaks, right? Wouldn't that help the Pacific Northwest flourish and get better and bigger?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the bald eagles catch
Catch fish.
okay? And that helps the Pacific Northwest, function and go on. Okay? Now we're gonna go back all together, and you guys did such a great job. You can take these articles and you can read about the other animals. You still need a buddy? Okay? And then you can look on Bit's board and it will tell you what we just learned. You can click on the animals. Alright? Okay. Yes. No, just some of the animals and what they do. Okay? We're actually going to be coming out of, plants, right? Plants. Okay, we're actually going to be coming back together. I'm going to go get the other students outside, and we're going to actually talk about what we found as far as research. Theo, yes, so people get We're going to all go back to our seats. Plants.
Guys,
plant group,
put your
animal
computers
group,
away and just
weather
use your
group.
notebook.
Let's see what kind of information we came up with, and we're gonna have a discussion about it, okay? All right, everybody back to their seats. Are we finishing up? It's okay, so try to get inside so we can talk about it. Ready? Okay, perfect. Everyone back to your seats, come on. Perfect. So, when everybody gets back to their seats, we're gonna take out our 4 biomes paper, okay? And you're gonna need your notebooks also so we can talk about what we learned. All right, everyone. 30 more seconds.
Wait, where is it?
It should be in your social studies folder. In your science folder. Everyone, great job.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
we learn a lot? Yeah? Good. amazing.
I didn't catch some of it, but I was gonna write what the symptoms were. It's like very specific. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the groups, the researching? Good. Perfect.
The rainfall's good.
Okay. So I'm only going to take a couple of people who found different plants and animals, and we'll talk a little bit about weathering because we only have. It's okay. You can just tell me the plants and animals.
Wait, I have one.
Okay. Everyone sit, and then I'm just going to call on a couple of people. Okay. So, who was in my weathering group? Weather group. Okay. So, on our biome, on the Pacific Northwest Forest, on our little square, we don't have anything on weather. We already filled in the weather. So, is there something different that we learned about the weather that we could just discuss and talk about? Ishbia, do you have something? What do you have? Very interesting. So the ocean. So can you speak a little louder? Can you tell the class? Why do you think that? Can anyone help Ishbia? Why do we think that it's gas, Melina?
I think this is
Could be, yes. What else? Very good. So the summer is hotter than the winter. That makes sense. Leland?
The weather in the Pacific Northwest Forest is cool, wet, rainy, and when it's not raining, it's usually foggy.
All right. So, what is? Who can tell me? Going off of what Leo M said, what is precipitation? Christopher, give me the different types of precipitation. Beautiful. Is fog one of those? Okay. All right. So who could tell me? Now we're gonna go over plants. Who is in my plant group? Okay. Who wants to tell me about a plant that we learned? Yes, Sarah. What did we learn? A little louder. Sorry. What is it called? A beach strawberry. Yeah. Is that a plant? Did you find out any information about the plant? No? Okay. So we can do some research maybe during SGI or something to learn a little bit about the beach strawberry. Does anybody have any other plants? Zoe.
A Pacific bleeding heart.
Ooh, what is that? Do we
It's like
find
a
any information?
flower.
Okay. How did it get its name? Do we know?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we're gonna do more research. Who can give me a plant that we learned that we learned something about the Pacific Northwest Forest? Yes.
I learned something about the Pacific Northwest bleeding heart. It's very, very toxic. And if you eat it, we don't know if you touch it, you get sick, but if you eat it, you can throw up, have diarrhea, start passing out, really bad symptoms. And it also, can I look at it? It drops pink, purple, and yellow creamed hearts, and it floors and
So that's very interesting. So that's how we know how it got its name, right? Very interesting. So does anybody remember any of the plants that Christopher read about to us earlier?
wildflower.
Beautiful. Let's write wildflower. Wildflowers. Can anyone give me one more? You remember, Christopher? Yes. Ferns. Very good. Do you guys remember on the pre-assessment? Was that one of the questions? Does anybody remember? Yeah, right. Any other plants before we move on to animals? That we remember?
The iris.
The iris. Beautiful. So these are just some plants that are that live in the Pacific Northwest forest. Now, where's my animal group? All right, animals. Can you give me an animal that you learned?
Yeah. There's about the Pacific Northwest River Otter.
Very good. The North American river otter. Very good. What do we learn about them? What do they do?
They hatch flying fish.
Do you remember that big word that we learned?
Detective.
You wanna go to Christopher? You want extra help? Want to phone a friend?
Detective.
Very good. So that is a nice big fourth grade word, right? So they eat decaying fish and animals. All right. So that's how they help the Pacific Northwest forest. Now, who else? Where else did we go? Okay. Abdul, do you remember an animal that we learned? Which one? You want to go grab your notes that we were going over? Okay. I'll come back to you. Okay. Does anyone remember any animals that we read about before we broke up into groups? Carter?
Who's that snail I was eating in the magazine?
Amazing. I love how you're looking back in your textbook for the information. While
It was called the Saipan snail.
beautiful. Anyone else remember any other animals that we learned about?
Oh yeah.
Bella?
I forgot the name of it, but it was like that, the colorful bird.
Do you want to phone friends? You want to pick somebody? Quickly. Do you remember what it was called?
Logan?
Do you want to look? It's right in front of you. Look on your notebook. What is it called? The Western Tanager, right? Okay. You guys did amazing. We're gonna put this away now, and I'm gonna be handing out a one-question exit ticket. So the only thing that you should be having on your desk right now is a pencil. Okay? Okay. So let's recap really quick before I hand out these exit tickets. What do we learn about the Pacific Northwest forest? Pardon?
That is so rainy and wet plays with some of the biggest trees ever.
Amazing. Bella.
We also learned about some of the living things there.
Beautiful. So what is a living thing? One of the living things.
Chris.
Living things now could be anything, right? Not just animals. Well, beautiful. What about you, Leah?
The otters in the lakes.
Yeah. So do you remember what the name of the otter was? Because you weren't here when we were going over it. Very close. Good. The North American river otter. What else did we learn about the Pacific Northwest? What is one popular plant that's in the Northwest forest? The bleeding heart. So we like that one, right? What about you, Christopher? What did we learn? The beach strawberry. Beautiful. Okay, so now you're gonna just answer this question, then you're gonna hand it into Ms. Terranova. Everything, I'm gonna collect the textbooks, and you can put away everything but a pencil, okay? That should go in your social studies folder.